Now, a new poll of some 15,000 Afghans living in the south of the country shows support for the Taliban is growing in the region. The survey was carried out by international policy think tank, the Senlis Council. Its executive director, Emmanuel Reinert, joins us now live from central London. Emmanuel Reinert, how do you explain this resurgence of the Taliban?
Well, we have been interviewing 17,000 Afghan in the three critical regions of Afghanistan, Helmand, Kandahar and Nangarhar. And I think the figures speak for themselves. First of all, 26% of Afghans are now supporting the Taliban. 50% thinks that they will win the war. And also 50% wants the troops to leave. So if you're wondering why we have reached such a critical situation, I think also the answer lies in the figures as well. 87% of Afghan has told us that they worry about feeding a family, and 93% of Afghan as also telling us that they receive no help personally from the international troops. So I think that's one of the main reasons why we are witnessing such a deterioration of the situation.
Well, yes, because they now have a legitimately elected president, government, parliament. They have freedoms they never had under the Taliban. But what you're saying is that basically it's poverty that's driving them to support the Taliban.
Yes, I think it's, unfortunately, we are undermining our objective, our mission, and we are putting the elected governments, democratically elected government, at risk. We definitely need to push for more aid and more development. We need to make a difference in Afghan life. They need to see that the situation is improving, and that's exactly the opposite, actually. And also we need also to stop, for example, the eradication of poppy crop, which make their life even more miserable and drive them into the end of the Taliban.
To what extent are people forced to back the Taliban?
Well, once again, when you look at the figures, 26% of them have told us that they support the Taliban, and considering the condition, of the survey, you may think that, well, the figures could be a lot higher. Of course, people are cautious when they express support to the Taliban. Interestingly, 50% of them think that the Taliban are going to win the war. So obviously, the Taliban are winning the propaganda campaign, and now more and more people see their future with the Taliban and not with the elected government or the international troops.
This will make grim reading, won't it, for troops there on the ground, 5 years after they were effectively, the Taliban were effectively crushed by forces there.
Absolutely. Even when you look back at the figures 2 years ago, only 3% of the population nationally was supporting the Taliban. Millions of pounds have been poured in Afghanistan to support the country. Unfortunately, right now the Taliban are the best employer in the south of Afghanistan. They offer 10 times more money than the Afghan National Police of the Afghan army, for example.
Okay, Emmanuel Reinert, thanks very much indeed for that.